Hello everybody, and this is Zariel Flame. Thanks for joining me in today's video. I just wanted to do a bit of an unboxing here with you guys. We just got this lovely book box that just came in from Llewellyn Worldwide. Llewellyn is an occult and witchcraft publishing house for authors, and we got this box and I had no idea why it was here. I don't really remember ordering any books. And so I opened it up and quickly realized that this is sent to us from Llewellyn, and these are books that we are going to be doing reviews on our channel here. And if the authors of these books are open to it, we will hopefully have them on the podcast as well. So we got a kind of a cool thing going on here with Llewellyn Worldwide, and we get the opportunity to read some books before they are released. And some of these are released, some of them aren't yet, and we will do reviews on them, and then, like we say, we will probably be interviewing the authors. So I'm just going to show you what this month's batch of books is, and show you the excitingness that we get to read, and hopefully some of the authors that we potentially get to look forward to interviewing on our podcast if they are agreeable. And so the first one is by Storm Werewolf. It's called The Seders Kiss, and it is for queer men, sex magic, and modern witchcraft. So this looks like a very interesting book. I don't actually think there is anything like it on the market. So that's an interesting, cool thing that I'm looking forward to checking out. I love Storm's work. Storm is a black wand master in the fairy tradition of witchcraft and has his own traditions of fairy that he teaches with blue rose and black rose witchcrafts. So I absolutely love Storm's work, and I think it's fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. Even though I'm not a gay man, I am excited to see what is in it, because I think it is a wonderful thing. And like I said, there's not really anything like it on the market as far as I am aware. If there is, drop a comment and let me know what other books there are for our queer and gay followers. The next one is Backyard Garden Witchery by Laurel Woodward. So this one is creating magical space outside your door. Just a quick flip through on this one. It looks like there is a bunch of spell work in here. It looks like there is information on a number of plants and herbs and their uses for in ritual and creating sacred space. So that looks like a very wonderful book and is right up my alley, since we are now moving the shop out into the country and we will have our own witchy gardens and stuff going for our apothecary. So I'm very excited to read that book. Next one is Tarot for Real Life by Jack Chanick. So it says, use the cards to find answers to everyday questions. And it looks like there is some descriptions of each of the tarot cards in here, of the 78 tarot. And there's a bunch of options for ways to read and a number of spreads that are in here. So another take on how to read the tarot and apply it to your life. Those are always a good one to add to anyone's collection. Now, from what I remember, this is probably the book that started off Llewellyn sending us stuff to read, because we were asked to interview this author, and now that we have their book, we are going to be able to read it, and we are going to be able to hopefully get them booked to come on the show. So we're looking forward to this one, because again, I don't think there's anything like this on the market. It is Queer Kabbalah by Enfys J. Book, and it's non-binary, gender-fluid, omnisexual mysticism and magic. And if you take a quick look through, you'll see that it is learning about the Kabbalistic tree of life and correspondences and how to apply them to your queer or non-binary life. So I'm very excited to read this, because just for the simple fact that there's nothing like it on the market, and I'm always interested in learning new views and expanding my horizons and my worldview. So I'm very much looking forward to reading that one. Here we have another one on herbal witchcraft, Sacred Leaves by Diego de Oxosi. I probably butchered your name. I'm sorry for that, Diego. And it is a magical guide to Orisha herbal witchcraft. So the Orishas are from ATR's, African traditional religions, And so it looks like there is a number of correspondences for herbs in here and which orishas they apply to, and information for how to use them in ritual and how to work with them through the lens of an ATR approach. So that looks like an interesting read as well. So any of you that are into hoodoo, voodoo, New Orleans voodoo, any of that stuff, that'll probably be one that is on your list. Now this one looks super cool because I just read what I believe is the first one in this series, and it looks like this one isn't released yet. So this is Werewolf Pack Magic, a Shapeshifter's Book of Shadows by Denny Sargent. He also has a book called Werewolf Magic, which is a fantastic read. He did a deep dive into ancient practices and ways for gaining the lupine power and for doing shape-shifting. And he really dove into a place that is near and dear to my heart, which is the Ulf-Hedin and the Berserker of the Norse traditions. So I highly recommend the first book. I'm really excited to read the second book, which looks like a companion guide and a book of shadows. So that one looks absolutely great. This one has been on my list to read, so I'm really excited that it's in this box. And it is Baba Yaga's Book of Witchcraft by Madame Pamita, and it is Slavic magic from the Witch of the Woods. So anyone who knows me knows that I am a sucker for anything that is traditional witchcraft, and I'm really excited to look at some of the information in here based on Slavic witchcraft, because it's an area that I know a little bit of, but I haven't really done a big deep dive into. So I'm really excited to work with this. I also work with Baba Yaga in my practice, so it's very cool to see a book that is dedicated to that spirit, because there isn't a ton out there. This one is Falling Through the Tree of Life, Embodied Kabbalah by Jane Meredith. So it looks like another book on a Kabbalistic type framework. So for those of you who don't know, the Kabbalah was adapted from the Jewish mystery traditions with their Tree of Life, and it became kind of a way for magicians and witches to map out the world so that we can travel the pathways of the Tree of Life and we can organize our correspondences on it. That is a very, very layman's way of explaining it, but it looks like there is a lot covered on it in this book, so I'm really excited to read it. Oh, this one looks absolutely fantastic as well. The Witch's Book of Spellcraft by Jason Mankey. Jason is a wonderful author. I really, really enjoyed his book on the Horned God. I highly recommend checking that out. He did a deep dive on everything to do with the Horned God of the Witches and all of the possible conflations of the Horned God, and it was a really well put together researched piece. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's a practical guide to connecting with the magic of candles, crystals, plants, and herbs, and based on the research that he did on that last book, I'm really excited to see what he has put together for Spellcraft in this book. So that's it. That's my awesome and magical box that I got from Llewellyn, and I'm really excited to see this. I hear sometimes people say that Llewellyn's books aren't, the best, or that's fluff or whatever. I actually don't find this. I've been reading a lot of Llewellyn's books lately, and a lot of it is really, really, really good stuff. So if you haven't been reading Llewellyn just because of this thing that's out in the ether that, maybe they aren't the most occult of publishing houses, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. Definitely check some of their stuff out. As you can see, there's some stuff here on traditional witchcraft, there's stuff on Kabbalah, there is stuff on spellcraft, there's stuff on herbalism, and one of the things that I really love about Llewellyn is they've been doing a lot of publishing of traditional witchcraft things lately, which I find extremely helpful for my personal path. So with that being said, we will check these books out. We're going to do reviews on them as we read them, and hopefully we will get to reach out to some of these authors and have them on the show. So I'm really excited for that. And if you have read these books, drop your thoughts on them in the comments here so that I can read what other people think of them. And if you have authors from Llewellyn or books from Llewellyn that you would like us to review, or authors that you would like us to have on our show, drop that in the comments as well, and we will reach out to Llewellyn and see what we can get set up. So with that, thank you for tuning in, and have a fantastic day.